The next question we had in the series of questions was, should I train arms? Do arms matter? A lot of the literature I've read around about running, re-education and gait analysis, arms are a huge part. So there's two kind of main areas I looked into. One was Shane Benzie's The Lost Art of Running. He describes the pull back of the arm being really important. Not so much the punch forward, but if you're able to pull that elbow back, you create force, or you create these elastic properties in the shoulder. Now, what I liken that to is like a bow and arrow. You pull the bow back to release it to go forward. So really work on driving the elbow back. And he goes on to talk about the elbows help to drive the legs. So by using your arms, you really try and get that connection with the opposite leg. So pulling your left arm back pulls your right leg forward. The second part of that was the running schools book, where Who Taught You to Run is what it's called. And when they speak about the arms themselves, they talk about the arms kind of drifting across midline. If you're going across midline, it causes the whole body to twist and turn then. So by keeping your arms in a straight line, like train tracks, you're actually driving yourself forward, and you're not having to control a lot of the twist movement through the body itself. And there's a couple of nice little tips that both of them have used. One is try and drive the elbow back as much as you can and allow it just to float forward with a loose hand. So you're trying to take your hand up to in line with the chin, or just below the chin itself. Another prompt is thinking about the train tracks itself, or a line down your mid center, and your arms aren't allowed to cross over that. So that can be two little tips. One of the drills I like to use when in the running from injury is long sitting. So you're sitting with the legs out long, and all you're practicing is really working the arms, especially the draw back phase. And you can actually feel your bottom lift off the ground itself. So you're actually generating some of that force there. Now, does it have to be heavy in the gym? Heavy obviously builds strength. The stronger you are, the more energy you're able to prepare, but also they need to have endurance. What we often see is people who start running have really good arm dynamics, and as they go through the race or as they go through their event, the arm dynamics start to drop down. So if you can have some sort of endurance in there, sometimes sometimes plank with shoulder taps, bird dogs, shoulder presses, the list is endless. But I would definitely have some sort of element of arms in your strength and conditioning if you are a runner. Also on arms, I had a great discussion with an orienteer who he always said his mapping arm was on this side here. So he always held his map on one side and his compass on one side, and his other arm would work. So he's really fixing down through that side. And when we looked at them in the clinic, you could actually see the biomechanical changes, and there was a difference in there, not just at the shoulder, but across into the opposite leg itself. So although he runs with the map, it would be quite useful to strength train that shoulder to move as a shoulder when it is meant to be running. So yeah, there's some really nice thoughts out there. Another interesting fact is Gabriel Salesi used to run with holding his books when he ran to school. So you often saw him running with his arm really tucked in close by his side. So it's a habitual form that's been there for years and years. And sometimes you'll find that by taking that away, you sometimes offload or change the balance throughout the rest of the body. So some things we need to change, and some things are better left as they are. And it all comes down to efficiency and also performance. If you're efficient and you're performing well, we don't need to change it. If you're injured, inefficient, and not running well, that's when we can start to introduce these certain tips to you. Hope this helps.